Hi, everybody. My name is May Doldelau, and today's live topic is the 7 do's and don'ts of how to making and paying yourself passive income. So I'm going to do a presentation. I'm going to see if I can share my screen in this. I guess I'm not sure if it's possible here. Okay, I guess I cannot share my screen, so we're just going to do it with me. Okay. So I made a presentation and the new live technology, I'm not sure how to share my screen, which is unfortunate. I'm totally share my screen with you right now. Let's begin. So a little bit about myself. My name is May Doldelau. I live in Honolulu, Hawaii. I usually do these presentations a little later, but my son is on spring break. So that's why I'm doing it earlier in the morning in Hawaii. It's 7:52 right now. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about my background. So why am I talking about passive income? I used to work at a bank down the street, and I used to have a lot of debt. It was spending on a lot of different things, not shopping, but more like educational programs to try to help me become financially free, all kinds of things like that, actually. But I got into a lot of debt. It wasn't only that. But anyway, long story short, I got into all this debt. It ended up being $30,000 at its worst, and I didn't have any money to my name, all right? That was back in 2009, 2008, around then. And then I learned new skills. Okay, I learned how to calculate my net worth from my boss at the bank. I learned how to create passive income from magazines I read. I learned how to do it from the internet. I learned how to create financial freedom habits from T. Harv Eker in his Millionaire Mind Intensive seminar, which he sold. Now it's owned by another company. They still teach the same principles, though. I learned it from books I read and games I played. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and I played the game Cash Flow. And in the Cash Flow game, you get trained on how to do passive income. So I learned all these things. Long story short, since 2008, 2009, 2016, I paid off all my debt, right? Not only that, at the same time I was paying off debt, I was saving money, I was investing, I was learning how to make passive income, I was paying myself to passive income. So by the time I got to the point where I paid off my debt, that year in December, I quit my job, right? And I wanted to be home with my son. I wanted to have more time with my husband, be more rested, have better health, and that has all happened. Okay, so now I have way more time with my son. I'm much healthier. I'm definitely rested. So things have gotten a lot better. So my life is completely different. We own 2 investment properties now. We didn't own property before. Our net worth has increased a lot, like $500,000 since we started this whole process. So, and I started before I was even married, right? So there's been a lot that's happened. And so why do I talk about these things? Is because I'm doing them. I'm someone who's doing it. All right. So I am not trained in financial advising, though I did learn a lot about banking when I worked at the bank. But I'm not trained financial advisor. I am a person who is doing the work. And if you talk to most financial advisors and ask them how much passive income they make and pay themselves, they'll get either mad, upset, they'll say they don't make anything. They won't know what you're talking about. It's kind of weird, but it's true. I mean, they were trying to hire me back when I was looking for jobs. They were trying to hire me as a financial advisor. I had nothing. I didn't know anything about passive income, didn't know anything about the stock market, and they were recruiting me. Okay. So you got to understand something about most financial advisors. They don't understand this because they don't do it in their real life. They're working for a paycheck just like you. So where do you get your advice? I highly recommend financial advisors who know their stuff. Okay. Now, I've yet to meet many of them. I have one that I work with because he actually does make income. He's an investor. He has properties too. And so he has some good advice. But I mean, I don't have a full-on advisor that I rely on because I just don't know anybody who does what I do and who does what our family does. Okay. That doesn't mean they're not out there. And I think it's because my net worth is not as high. So for people like me and you watching this who don't have a high net worth, maybe it's negative like it was when I started. High-end financial advisors don't want to work with us because we don't have enough money to pay them their fees because they need to get money to compensate them for their time. All right. So they work with billionaires, millionaires, whatever. They don't work with people like us. So who works for people like us? We do. We work for ourselves. So where are you going to get your advice? You're going to get your advice from someone who's actually walking the talk. So that's who I am. My name is May Doldelau. I walk the talk. I'm a homemaker. We make over $500 a month in passive income just from dividend yielding stocks and interest on savings accounts. We also have 2 Airbnb businesses, which we also make about $300 a month passive income roughly on both. Okay. So I'm someone who actually does what I say. And if you followed me, I've been blogging at yesfinanciallyfree.com for years now. When I still worked at the bank, I was blogging, and you can see how I've evolved over time. And so you understand where I'm coming from. All right. I used to work that job. I used to be sick when I did these broadcasts. Go back to an older broadcast and you'll see that I'm sniffing and blowing my nose and stuff because I need to do it before I go to work, so I do it really early in the morning, even earlier than 7. I used to do them at 6:30, 6 a.m. because that was before work, right? So understand that I've come a long way, and you can see that progression on the blog so you can understand where I am, who I am, why I talk about this, okay? So that's my story. All right. It's pretty exciting. It's still going on. I promised I would retire my husband. I'm working on that goal, right? $500 a month in passive income plus Airbnbs is nice, but it's not enough to, make a living in Hawaii. So I'm still pumping it, but that's where we are. So the 7 do's and don'ts of making and paying yourself passive income. I'm going to share this with you because this is what I've learned and I've gone through. So I think it'll help you a lot. So I'm going to share it with you. First thing is get started. So this is the number 1 do, get started. All right. So you've heard me talk about passive income. I said I make it from dividend yielding stocks and high yield savings accounts mostly. And also I have Airbnb rental properties that I have 2 managers running. So now you have an idea of a 3 ways to make passive income. All right. So now get started. All right. So the easiest one is to make a savings account and put money in it and make interest every month. That's the easiest. So start where it's easy. Start where it's something you understand, right? But just get started. Start now. Okay. The first don't is don't delay. So a lot of people hearing this message, they're not going to do anything, but not you, because you're different. See, instead of not doing anything, what you're doing is you're actually going to maybe shrink this window a little bit or pause the video and open up another window and Google high yield savings accounts, and you're going to find one that you like and you're going to apply and open it right now because it literally will only take you 10 minutes. And then you're going to set it up so you can transfer the money, or you're going to write yourself a check, put it in the mail, and send it to that and start saving money. Some of you, the ones who are listening right now, who know who you are, you've already done it because you press play again and you're watching this video because you're an action taker. And that's what you need to be if you want to be financially free, if you're serious. Because I meet very few people out there who are serious about becoming financially free. When I talk to people about financially free, I talk to them plain and simple. I just talk about it. Most people are just trying to keep their job and not piss off their boss. That's not me, okay? What I'm doing is I'm fighting for my family. I'm fighting for you, all right? For all the mothers, I had a mother email me the other day, and she shared with me that, she wants to quit her job so bad and be with her sons. So this is real for a lot of people, and I'm here for you. So do get started and don't delay. Number 2, do is trust others. You're listening to me talk to you about these things, passive income. Maybe you haven't thought about it before. Maybe it's new information for you. What I'm saying is trust what I'm saying, all right? Now, I'm not saying trust me with your money, and that's number 2, don't. Do not give your money to someone else just because they have a good idea or they sound cool. Do not give it to them, all right? Keep control of your money, but do trust others in that you can gain knowledge from them. You can understand the direction to go to create passive income for you and your family. Trust that other people have a lot of knowledge that you don't have, and you can trust it because you can see where are they, what are they doing. Do they have free time? Do they have money? Do they have abundance? Do they have a life that you admire? If they do, then trust that they might have knowledge for you and learn it, all right? But the second don't is do not take your money and leave it for someone else and just hope for the best, because that is not a good strategy for your money, okay? So don't do that. But trust them, learn from them. Don't give them all your money. Number 3, research. Start doing research, okay? I learned about dividend yielding stocks, not from T. Harv Eker and Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, not from, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I learned it from reading magazines, but T. Harv Eker did say to start reading magazines, right? So I did. I started reading magazines on investing, and inside they talked about dividend yielding stocks, and they talked about how much they make, and I was like, oh, you can do that? That's how I learned about it. I started researching. So number 3, do is go research. Read magazines on investing. Read, or read online magazines or whatever there is. Watch investment TV. Usually magazines and paper have more in-depth things than television, but you never know. These days it's changing. Number 3, don't is do not put all your eggs in one basket. Don't take all your money and throw it on one stock. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you that right now. All right. Now, some of you might disagree, but I'm going to tell you, if you're a beginner like me, don't do that. All right. Do not do that. All right. All right. And not even the best financial advisors in the world do that. So why should you? Right. Okay. So don't put all your eggs in one basket. Number 4, take small steps. This is the do. When you find an investment you want to go to and you want to test it out, take a little bit of money. It might be $10, might be $100, might be $1,000. I don't know what a little bit is to you, but take a little bit of money that you don't mind losing. Okay. You would spend it on whatever today. So you put it in a stock instead, or in a savings account, or in another investment you find. That's not something I mentioned, right? Take a small step and just go for it, but do it. But take a small step, not a huge step. All right. The number 4 don't think you know it all with a good investment. So let's say you take a small step and it's doing well. Now, don't think you know it all and you're a genius now, and then take the rest of your money and throw it in. Do not do that, okay? So always understand that the money you invest, you could all lose, and you don't want to throw it all in one investment just because, and don't think that, oh, now I know everything about investing because look, I made this work. So even the best investors in the world, I read Money Master the Game by Tony Robbins. Highly recommend that book. And he talked to the top investors in the world, and even they know that there's always risk involved in every investment, and there is a chance that you will lose, and they're always hedging, and they're always being extremely conservative, right? So do not think you know it all when you have one good investment, okay? And I've suffered from this. I've had this problem. So I'm telling you from advice, don't think you know it all from one good investment. Number 5, is evaluate your risk. What is the risk? So if you put the money in, are you going to get it back? A good way of looking at this is like, let's say you invest in stocks. The business might go out of business, like Enron. Enron went out of business. People invested in Enron and went out of business. They lost all their money. Okay. Lehman Brothers went out of business, lost all their money. Before it went out of business, did people think it was going to go out of business? No. They thought they were great companies. They'd be around forever, and they're not. They're gone. So you got to evaluate risk. You have to understand that if you invest in a company, it doesn't mean they're going to be around forever. All right. It doesn't mean they're not going to go bankrupt. All right. So you have to understand the company. You have to understand, are they a strong company? Are you going to go bankrupt? You got to understand these things. So definitely evaluate your risk to understand, if I put this money there, what's the likelihood that I will get what I want as a return? What is the likelihood that I won't and I'll actually lose it? You got to evaluate that. All right. Number 5, do not gamble your money. So a lot of people, they took their money out, and let's just say that you're desperate. You're like, you lost your job. You need to somehow pay the mortgage. So you go to Vegas and gamble. That is not a good, everybody knows that. I think that's not a good idea, but people still do it. Why? Because they're desperate. Okay. So you got to fight the urge to gamble, because all it does is make your situation worse. So you go from bad to terrible. Do you see what I'm saying? So you don't want to gamble ever. Now, if you do gamble and you lose it all, maybe you hit bottom, maybe that's your salvation. I don't know, but it really sucks when you hit bottom. I will tell you that. Now, I've never actually gambled my money away, but I've hit bottom in my own way. So I understand it's not good. It's not a good thing to be there. Now, it might give you a life lesson. That's great. But if you can hear this and not gamble, congratulations to you, because that's important. Number 6, is keep a base in your savings. Okay. So a lot of people don't like savings because they think it's not going to beat inflation. And there's all these things that people say, and the things that people say may be correct, but there's a reason for having savings accounts. And I'm going to tell you what it is. Let's say you have $10,000 in a savings account. And let's say here, this person has $10,000 in a savings account. This person has nothing in their savings account. Okay. There's 2 people here. Who do you think feels better about money? The person who has $10,000 in savings, the person who has nothing. Or let's say they have $100,000 in savings, this person has nothing. This person obviously feels better about money because they have money. You see, they feel more comfortable. If something happens, they're not going to freak out, right? If suddenly, they have to repair the roof on their home, they're not going to freak out because they have money on the side to help them do that. And then they can replenish their savings later. This person, however, is going to be like, I have to live with a leak in the roof because I don't have any money to fix it. Do you see what I'm saying? Or they might have to borrow from their equity and have second loan and then just be paying more and more loan interest. So savings accounts are important. Not only do they help you when you need money right away and you can borrow and then pay it back, but also they make you feel good. You're not going to feel desperate about money if you have money. Does that make sense? It's a psychology thing. What do people do when they're desperate about money? They start gambling. They start buying into network marketing, business ops. They start looking for online business opportunities. Okay, I know, because when I was down, that's what I was doing. Okay, people, you understand what I'm saying? So if you have money in a savings account, you're not going to do that stuff. And that's the kind of stuff that'll make you lose money. All right, that's the kind of stuff that'll make you lose. Trust me, I know. Okay, so keep a base in savings, at least 3 months, probably 6 months of your salary in savings, maybe more. The more, the better. Okay, number 6, don't put all your money on risky investments. Now, even the stock market for a lot of very well-trained, high-skilled investors is considered a risky investment. Stocks go up and down all the freaking time. Did you notice? Have you ever seen the stock market in action? It's like, I mean, if it's risky, all right? And like I said, Enron went out of business, right? What do people know about stocks in that? Lehman Brothers went out of business. What about that, right? Shh, boom, no money. So the stock market is pretty risky, all right? Don't put all your money in the stock market. Don't put all your money in Bitcoin. That's even riskier than the stock market, right? A lot of people were taking mortgages on their home and throwing it in Bitcoin. And then what happened, right? They're throwing it in Bitcoin when it was at 9,000, 10,000, 11,000. It goes up to 20. And did they sell? No. What happened? And they lost all their money, right? Or they have a very little left. So don't put all your money in risky investments. Keep a base in savings. Number 7, last one, pay yourself your passive income. Now, you might listen to that and be like, oh, of course, whatever. Do you know the hardest thing for me to help people learn is to pay yourself your passive income? Why? Number 1, there is a lot of people who say, do not take your dividends or your interest or this, because you need to take advantage of compounding. Because compounding, even Einstein said compounding is great, or whatever he said. So people are really into compound interest. Now, I'm not against I think compound interest is great. All right. However, I think you need to split up your investments. So if you have the retirement account, the 401k, whatever, and it's got the index funds and they're reinvesting all their dividends, then that's great. You know, keep it over there. And you can't touch it anyway. It's in a retirement account. If you pull it out, you get penalties. So whatever, that's fine. I'm all for that. But on this side, I want you to keep extra money in a separate account instead of going out and buying all that coffee. Maybe you put it in this investment account. So it's not money you would lose anyway. It's just redirecting your attention to an investment account where if you do make dividends or you do make interest, you pay yourself the money. Now, this is so important. People will not do this. Now, I don't know why. I think it's all that, all the hype about reinvesting and stuff. But in my personal circumstance, when I first started investing in dividend yielding stocks, and I started with the drip, reinvest. And it was okay, but it wasn't that interesting to me. When I finally started taking it off drip and paying myself my dividends, it became super fascinating, super exciting to make passive income. Why? Because I would put it in my checking account. Every time I made interest, I'd put it in my checking account. And that was super exciting to me because it was real money in my pocket that I could use to pay for rent, pay for food. And that's what we're doing, isn't it? We're training ourselves to become financially free, aren't we? So you need to have some account where you're actually practicing paying yourself and increasing passive income so you can get good at it. It's just like any skill. Are you going to get good at driving if you never practice driving? Are you going to get good at paying yourself passive income if you never pay yourself passive income? Does that make any sense to you? Now that I'm saying it, it probably makes sense now, right? Why you have to pay yourself your passive income. So keep your retirement account on the side, but make another account, group of accounts where you actually pay yourself your passive income, okay? And so what if you pay more taxes? That's great. It means you're making more money, okay? Plus, maybe because you're making more passive income, you change your job from full-time to part-time. Then you're not paying any more taxes because you're actually working less, making the same amount of money. Isn't that what you want? Don't you want to work less but make the same amount of money or more money, right? When I started paying myself passive income, I realized that the money I was getting from passive income generation was more than the money I'd get from raises. So every year I'd make more passive income, and I also make a little more from a raise. But I'd make more in passive income increase than from my raises at my job. And I was in control of it. Like I had a direct control over how much passive income I could make. So do you see the difference? You take control of your finances. You take control of your life, honeys. Take control of your life, okay? So do pay yourself. The second don't, a seventh don't is do not reinvest everything. Okay, don't take all your investments and reinvest everything. That's going to be very unsatisfying. It's not going to get you to your goal. You're never going to be financially free if you do stuff like that. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? So let's do a quick summary. Go to my blog for the full list. All right. Number 1, do, get started. Number 2, don't delay. Number 2, do, trust others. Number 2, don't leave all your money to others. Don't leave everything to others. Number 3, do research. Number 3, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Number 4, do take small steps. Number 4, don't think you know it all with a good investment. Number 5, do evaluate risk. Number 5, don't gamble. Number 6, do keep a base in savings, a substantial base. Number 6, don't put it all in risky investments. And number 7, pay yourself your passive income. Number 7, don't reinvest everything. Okay, I hope you understand that. That's the 7 do's and don'ts of creating and paying yourself passive income. I made this list out of my own personal experience as someone who actually does make and pay herself passive income. I coach other people who also make and pay themselves passive income. So I hope you understand that what I'm saying is practical, real knowledge that you can start right now. Now, if you, like I said, go to my blog, yesfinanciallyfree.com. If you put in your first name and your email on the side, you'll get on my email list where I send out free information on what I'm doing in these lives that I do, educational resources I have. So get on that email list, and I will see you again soon. Aloha.